welcome to the first meeting of the Caithness Area Committee, and can I wish you well for the next 5 years. Item number 1 is the apologies, and we have one apology, and that's from Matthew Rees. And the attendance here, if I'm correct, is Councillors Bremner, Gunn, Jarvie, Mackay, Mackie, McEwen and Rosie. Moving on to item number 2. Has any member here got any declaration of interest? Struan?
Thank you very much. It's a declarable interest and a connection here. So I have a financial interest as the current chair of the Dounreay stakeholder group, which the reason I'm there is because it was a council appointment. In March of this year, I was re-elected for a further term, and the terms of reference of the stakeholder group do not require that I continue my council membership for the period of that year. So although I do have a connection to this item, I will stay and take part.
So just to clarify, it'll be a transparency statement.
Transparency statement, thank you.
Any other member? No, okay, I'm going to move on to item number 3, and that's the appointment of chair to the Caithness Committee. Can I have any nominations, please? Councillor Jarvie?
Could I nominate Councillor Ron Gunn, please?
And do you have a seconder?
Can I second that?
Any other nominations? No? Okay, Mr. Gunn, I'm going to pass the chair over to you now.
Thank you for that. The next item will be the appointment of Vice Chair and Provost of Thurso. Nominations there. I would like to propose Struan for that position.
Point of order here, Chair.
Yep.
Point of order, I'd like to come in and before you discuss agenda item 4 and 5.
On you go then.
Before I adjust this, I'd like to say something. Some 2 years ago, when Councillor Nicola Sinclair, the chair of the Caithness Area Committee, suggested to me if I would give up the role of a Caithness civic leader, which I enjoyed, she would suggest a nomination for 2 vice chairs to support her as chair and add to that the honour of Provost of Thurso and the Provost of Wick. This was agreed by our local members, and Councillor Struan Mackie took up the role of the vice chair and Provost of Thurso, and I took up the role of the vice chair and the Provost of Wick. This dual arrangement was never, I believe, ratified by Highland Council as an election process, and I find it disappointing to see it here today that the prestigious role as a provost is latched onto the appointment of a vice chair to the chair of the area committee. With that in mind, I'm going to make a suggestion to all the members here today. When the honour of a provost is bestowed, it's accepted that this is for a term of office, either 4 or 5 years. As you're aware, the role of provost for Councillor Mackie and myself never materialised, owing to the COVID pandemic, which cancelled out every opportunity to exercise our civic duties in the past 2 years. With that in mind, I'm going to suggest we do the honourable and decent thing here today to allow Councillor Struan Mackie and myself to continue in the roles of Provost of Thurso and Wick for the term of 5 years. Once this is sanctioned by the members here today, then we call for nominations for 1 vice chair to support the newly elected area chair, or 2 vice chairs to support the area chair. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Has anybody else got anything they would like to add on that? Struan?
Thank you very much, Chair, and I appreciate the comments made by Councillor Mackay. I'm quite conscious, and I have a huge amount of sympathy that I think under normal circumstances, the assumption is that those roles are for a full term. I'm conscious that we made these changes midway through what was our 5-year appointments to the Highland Council that ran from 2017 until 2022. Having said that, however, I'm conscious that we are a body of 8 members, and we will have ultimately we will have a chair, and we will certainly have our vice chairs, and I'm conscious that it could well be that people will look at the Caithness committee and say that there are more appointed positions than there are councillors without appointed positions, and I think from the perspective of the public looking in, albeit I know that there was a little bit of a stramash at not the last full council, but the one before, around about the priorities and where area committees place in terms of the priorities for the council. I am minded, certainly, and my assumption always was that my term of office as Provost would end with the election. So on that basis, I'm quite happy to move that we maintain the agenda as it is published in today's papers, and certainly from my perspective as the outgoing Provost of Thurso, albeit I may be re-elected today, I'm quite content that despite all the issues that we have, that my assumption was that the term of office ended in May of this year.
Yep. Thank you, Struan. Jan, do you want to come in there?
Yeah, I totally agree with Stu, and I think this is a new council and it's a it's a new body councils, and I think if we have 5 elected parties with posts out of 8, it does look as though we're all top heavy. And this is a new council and it's a new beginning for this council, and I think we should stick to the agenda.
Okay, thanks, Jan. Anyone else got anything? Yeah, I agree with that. It's a new council, so I would say that we should go with the agenda as published. Are you in agreement with that?
Yes.
Agreed.
Raymond, do you want to come in there?
Given that this agenda was agreed by 5 members and not by 3, which because it wasn't put past the other 3 of us, it's no surprise that you and Councillor Janet McEwen are in agreement with the agenda. So I think it's already a foregone conclusion that the agenda is going to be carried out.
Okay.
Point of order, Chair.
Point of order.
Stuart.
As it was with Inverness Area Committee that managed to sit twice, despite all other area committees in the Highland Council not meeting. So as a point of order, I think it's important to put that on the record, and I'm quite happy, Chair, that we continue down the agenda.
I would just say a point of order. I didn't actually realise the other 3 hadn't seen this agenda.
Well, now you do.
Now I do.
Chair, can I just confirm that the committee is continuing with the agenda, or has Mr. Mackay got a seconder if he's putting forward an amendment?
Okay, do we? Willie, are you putting forward an amendment?
Yes, I certainly am. Under the circumstances, I think it's absolutely disgraceful to latch on a prestigious honour of a provost along with a vice chair to the area committee. This is 2 different positions altogether, and they should be recognised as such.
Okay, thank you. Have you got a seconder? Okay, Carl?
Yeah, I'll be content to second Councillor Mackay's amendment.
Okay, do we, excuse my ignorance, do we move now to a...
Chair, do you want any of the other members want to move that they continue with the agenda?
Yep. So I'm happy to propose continue with the agenda, and
I'm happy to second that.
Okay. So I presume then that we move to a vote.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. If I call your name, can you indicate if you want to vote for the motion, the amendment, or if you wish to abstain? The motion is by Struan Mackey, seconded by Janet McEwen, which is to continue with the agenda. The amendment is from Councillor Mackay, seconded by Councillor Rosie, and that is to separate the posts of Provost and Vice Chair. So again, the motion from Mr Mackey, the amendment from Mr Mackay, or abstain. Mr Bremner.
Amendment.
Mr Gunn.
Motion.
Mr Jarvie.
The status quo, please.
Sorry, can you motion, amendment, or abstain?
The sorry, it was the
The motion was Mr Mackey, which was to continue with the agenda. The
All right.
amendment from Mr Mackay was to split the posts and abstain.
Yes, so it's the motion. Sorry, I thought because Struan came in afterwards, it was the amendment of motion. Thank you.
Mr Mackay.
Amendment.
Mr Mackey.
motion, please.
Councillor McEwen.
Motion, please.
Mr Rees is an apology, and Mr Rosie.
Amendment, please, Jane.
Okay, we have 4 votes for the motion, we have 3 votes for the amendment, and we have no abstentions. Therefore, the motion from Struan Mackey and Councillor McEwen to continue with the agenda is carried.
Okay, thank you for that. We can move now to the appointment of Vice Chair and Provost of Thurso. I would like to nominate Struan Mackey for that position.
I'll second that.
Are there any other nominations?
Okay, that's fine. Oh, Raymond, sorry.
Yes, I'll nominate Carl Rosie, please. Thanks.
We got a seconder.
Yes, I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Willie.
Any other nominations?
Okay. Raymond, are you still wanting to say something?
No, I'm not. That's an old hand chain. Or is there somebody else not operating the electronic hands, or is it just ourselves?
It's your, well, I can do it as well, but there, I've lowered it for you.
Aye, perfect. I'll do it myself from now on.
Okay, members, we have nominations for Struan Mackey, and we have nominations for Carl Rosie. Can you indicate how you'd like to vote? Would you like to vote for Councillor Mackey or Councillor Rosie, or abstain when I call your name? Mr Bremner.
Councillor Rosie, please. Thank you.
Mr Gunn.
Councillor Mackey, please.
Councillor Jarvie.
Councillor Mackey, please.
Councillor Mackay.
Councillor Rosie.
Councillor Mackey.
Councillor Mackey, please.
Councillor McEwen.
Councillor Mackey, please.
Matthew Rees as an apology. And Mr Rosie.
I'll go with myself, please, Jane. Thank you.
Okay, we have 4 votes for Mr Mackey, 3 votes for Mr Rosie, and we've got no abstentions. Thank you, members.
Okay, thank you. So Councillor Mackey will be the Vice Chair and Provost of Thurso. Move on to item 5 now, the appointment of Vice Chair and Provost for WIC. Have we got any nominations? Andrew?
Could I nominate Councillor Jan McEwen, please?
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Student, thank you. Who's next? Raymond, your hand was up.
You know, I was not going to second Councillor Jan McEwen there, Councillor Gunn. I'll actually nominate. I'll nominate Councillor Mackay. Thank you.
Thank you. Have we got a seconder?
Yes, I'm content to second that. No.
Thank you, Carl. Any other nominations? Raymond, is that still a? Aye, okay, thanks, thank you. Okay, so we go to a vote. Can I take it? Is that right, Jane? Yeah.
That's correct. Right, members, we have, if you can indicate whether you want to vote for Councillor McEwen, Councillor Mackay, or abstain when I call your name. Councillor Bremner.
Councillor Mackay, please. Thank you.
Councillor Gunn.
Councillor McEwen, please.
Councillor Jarvie.
Councillor McEwen, thanks.
Councillor Mackay.
Councillor Mackay.
Councillor Mackey.
Councillor McEwen, acknowledging the very good service that Provost Mackay did as both Provost and Civic Leader, please.
Councillor McEwen. Councillor McEwen.
Councillor McEwen, please.
Councillor Rees is an apology, and Councillor Rosie.
Councillor Mackay, please, Jane.
Thank you, members. We have 4 votes for Councillor McEwen, 3 votes for Councillor Mackay, and we've got no abstentions.
Okay, thanks very much for that vote. And yeah, I announce the appointment of Councillor McEwen as Vice Chair and Provost of WIC. And I have to say, thanks to Willie for your services in that, and well done. Okay, we can move on to item 6, members' appointment to various boards and things. The first one being the Caithness and North Southerland Regeneration Partnership Advisory Board. Struan, you got your hand up?
Thank you very much, Chair. I would like to nominate the leader of the council, Councillor Raymond Bremner, for the CNSRP Advisory Board, acknowledging that I think it is a appointment that makes a tremendous amount of sense, and acknowledging that our shared belief that there needs to be some things shaken up within CNSRP, and I think he would be the ideal person to do it, and I do hope from that point he actually becomes chair of the advisory board. So I'd like to make that nomination, please.
Okay, thank you, Stu, and I'll second that one as well. It does make a lot of sense. Yes. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to second that.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Are there any other nominations? There are actually. Is it 2 members?
2 members, Chairman.
Oh God. Yeah.
Chair, I'm also comfortable that one of the other nominations, it was actually Councillor Matthew Rees, who I believe would be happy to maintain if there was no other nominations, but I'm quite happy to move that last unless there is any other suggestions from members.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm sorry, there's a blooming phone ringing in the background. it should stop in a wee while. Is there any other nominations, or do you want to leave it with Matthew? Janet?
I'm happy to second Matthew.
Okay. That's fine. Are we quite happy with that then, everybody?
My hand's still up.
So that'll be Raymond and Matthew for the board. Yep, okay, thanks for that. Move on now to Doonry Stakeholders Group. Struan has already said that he sits on that board, and I had to say that I sit on that board as well, wearing a different hat, not as a councillor. So they're looking for 3 members. Have we got Andrew? I think you had your hand up there.
I just said I'd like to nominate Councillor Willie Mackay for his request by email last night.
Okay, have we got a seconder for Willie?
Yes, more than happy to second that. Thank you.
Okay, that's Willie. Have we any other nominations? Struan?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to nominate Councillor Carl Rosey, to the DSG. For all those that are familiar, Carl has done a power of work with socioeconomics and regeneration, and I think that he would be a very good appointment to the DSG and really help us in a number of areas that I'm conscious that we are short of. Maybe it's skills and knowledge, but also the network that comes with it. So if Councillor Rosey would consent to that nomination, I'd be delighted to propose him.
Okay, we've got a seconder for Carl.
Yes, I'm quite happy to second, and I, like you, with a ringing phone in the background, have a very noisy spinning washing machine.
It's all happening. Yeah, thanks. And yes, Willie.
Yes, Chair. Yeah, I only said I would take up the DSG appointment if nobody else was willing to take it on with Carl. We nominated. I will not be looking to take up the post as a DSG representative.
Councillor Mackay,
Okay,
there's 3 vacancies on the Doonry Stakeholders Group.
Yeah, there's 2 on already. Councillor Struan and Councillor Gunn are on already.
Not as councillors. Not as councillors.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you did. I thought that came into it as well. Being a councillor in another role, you were still a member of the Highland Council.
No,
Okay,
I
well,
was.
no,
So,
okay.
sorry, Willie. I was voted on completely different from that. I was voted on as a chat member.
Okay, then right. Leave me on. If nobody else wants to join Carl, I'll certainly take up that position.
Okay.
I'm happy to take up the 3rd position if nobody wants it.
I mean, certainly the DSG is one that I would be. I think it's the one thing. If I would quite happily give up everything else to take up, it's the one thing that interests me the most by far and away in Caithness.
That's fine. I nominate you, Andrew.
Okay. Do we have a seconder for Andrew?
Yes, I'll second that.
Right. So we have 3. Or have we got more than 3? No, I think we've got 3. Is that right?
Yeah.
You've got 3 and you only need 2.
No.
No, we need 3, Willie.
You need 3.
We need 3.
Okay.
And we have 3. As far as I can see, we have 3.
To confirm, we've got Councillor Mackay, Councillor Rosey and Councillor Jarvie.
Yes. So we have 3 for 3 spots. Excellent.
Okay.
Are we all happy with that, or are there any other nominations? No,
Yes, no, it makes perfect sense that we need 3. We've already got 2. We need to nominate another 3, so we've actually got 5. So yeah, that makes sense.
Congratulations. The DSG will be absolutely delighted. Having been with them for 15 years, I've never seen so many councillors around the table. They will be absolutely delighted to see 5 members attending this meeting. I'm sure Struan will agree with that.
Herding of cats comes to mind, Councillor Mackay, but yes, I appreciate that.
Is Councillor Jarvie's ability to add up there just now a reflection of his contribution to the forthcoming budget?
Yes, I'm sure we'll manage fine with all these people on it. And this blooming phone's decided to go again. Sorry, folks. Right, that's it. So we have the 3 members for the Doonry Stakeholders Group. So thanks for it very much for that. They're determined. Okay, the next item is the Caithness and North Southerland Fund, and we require 2 members. Have we got any nominations for that one? Struan?
But before, sorry to interrupt,
Sorry, yeah.
Matthew, can I point out that we need 2 members from the Caithness wards and 1 member from the North West and Central Sutherland ward?
I'm happy to nominate Councillor Mackay for the Caithness and North Sutherland Fund. And I believe this may be one of our roles that had quite a lot of turnover, so I'm not sure if there'll be any other incumbents who are on the call.
Okay. So let me see, we've got 2 members. 1 member from Northwest Central Sutherland. Yes, so sorry, Struan, was that a nomination there? Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, sorry, Chair, it's a nomination for Councillor Mackay.
Okay, and have we got a seconder for that?
Yeah, I'm quite happy to second Councillor Mackay.
Okay, thanks, Raymond. And do we have any other nominations for the second post?
If I might add that I think it would be balanced if we had a member from Northwest Sutherland.
Okay.
Would Matthew accept the position if in his absence, members of the Ward 2?
I'm quite happy that I can propose Matthew if he's seconded. The Caithness committee has a long tradition of nominating people in absentia and then people receiving a calendar invite and being shocked at the level of their commitments that have been made when they've not been there. But I'm quite happy to nominate Matthew.
Okay, and a second. I'll second Matthew for that.
I think you might find that Carl's hands up for that.
Oh, sorry,
Chair.
sorry, Carl. On you go. Yeah, on you go.
I was just going to congratulate Matthew, but you've seconded him anyway. So.
Very good, thank you. Difficult to see the hands right enough. Okay, then. So we've got the 2 members for that. That's Councillor Mackay and Councillor Rees. Yeah. Thanks very much for that. We move on now to the Caithness Citizens Advice Bureau. And we're looking for 1 member to serve as a director of Caithness Citizens Advice Bureau. Have we any nominations for that one? Struan?
Apologies, Chair, and apologies to the officers. This should have been another one where I declared my interest. I'm currently a director of Caithness Citizens Advice. The confusion here is that I believe Councillor Donny Mackay was the council appointee until he stood down and I replaced him, but the Citizens Advice did not, although that was decided at committee, the Citizens Advice never processed the directorship as if I was a member, so I have actually joined Citizens Advice Bureau in my own right. So I'm quite happy that I will remove myself from any consideration here because it is not a council appointment. Okay,
thank you, Stu. Raymond?
I'm just wondering if either Councillor Willie Mackay or Councillor Janet McEwen would consider taking up this position. Willie?
Yes, I'm already on the Citizens Advice Bureau. I've been on it for 5 years and I'm rolled off it now, but I'm on as an advisory capacity representing learning disabled. So I'm in there already on the CAB. Thanks, Chair.
Right. Okay, thanks, Willie.
Then I'm happy to nominate Councillor Jan McEwen.
Okay, do we have a seconder for Jan? Carl, thank you.
Yeah, quite happy to second that, Ron.
Thank you. Right, any other nominations? Okay, then, if you're all happy with that, Jan, you'll be taking up that position.
Thank you.
Thanks. Right, and we're on now to the Caithness Local Access Forum, requiring 2 members. Struan?
Thank you very much, Chair. Again, unfortunately, this will be one that's nominated in absentia, but that would be for Councillor Matthew Rees. I'd like to propose him. I believe he is one of the current Access Forum attendees.
Okay, thank you. We've got a seconder for Matthew.
I'll second it.
Okay, thanks, Jan. And do we have any other nominations? Because I think we are looking for 2.
If there's another one, I served in the Inverness and Nairn Access Forum previously, so I'm happy to make that move up here if there's no one else wanting it.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Do we have a seconder for that?
I'll second it.
Okay, Jan.
Actually, we need a proposer as well.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
Well,
sorry.
I'll propose Andrew Jarvie.
Okay, thank you, Jan. And do we have a seconder? I can second that.
Chair, just as a point of order, I think Councillor Rosie had his hand up at one point, but I'm not sure what it was for. So just in case he missed an opportunity to say anything.
So sorry, Carl.
Yeah, so it was a point of clarity, I guess. I understand. I don't think Councillor Rees was on the Caithness Local Access Forum. I know I was chair in the past, so I don't think he was on it. But look, it's no big deal. If you've got 2 candidates, I'm more than happy. I just wanted to clarify that point for you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know. Was Matthew actually on that before Struan?
Thanks, Chair. Apologies if I've picked that up wrong. Is Councillor Rosie indicating that he would wish to go back onto the forum? Because I'm quite happy to reverse my proposal. That's me probably misinterpreting something. I'd prefer to have somebody who actively wants to go on it than push people onto things that they don't necessarily want to. So, Carl, do you want to attend the forum again?
Yeah, quite happy to do that.
So can I? So for the record, I would like to change my nomination and it be for Councillor Carl Rosie.
Okay,
Sorry, Mr. Gunn, can I confirm that Janet McEwen is happy to withdraw her nomination for Matthew Rees?
Yes, I was just about to say that. I'm happy to withdraw my nomination to second Matthew Rees and now second Carol Rosie.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Now, so that was that for 2 members?
Yeah.
And we have 2 members, don't we?
Yeah,
we have
Carol and Andrew
and Carl, and there's no more nominations. No. And are we happy with that too? Yeah.
Yes.
I think we'll go ahead with that. Thanks very much. Yeah. So the 2 members. Yeah. Excellent. We move on to the chair of Caithness Poverty Action Group. We're looking for 1 member who I think will be chair of the group. Have Struan again, you want to come in?
Yeah, it's just a point of clarification on this, Chair, because it's slightly unusual that we nominate to a group that then becomes chair. So I was just trying to work my head around what exactly are we electing a member to that, and the default is they become chair. I know it sounds like a bit of a technical. I just thought it was an odd one that was listed as being something that this committee nominated to.
Yes.
Chair, I think Mac would be the best person to explain this one, because it's been a bizarre process, I have to say.
Okay, Carl, was you wanting to come in there before I ask Mac? Yeah.
No, go to Mac and get your clarification. You can come back to me then if you don't mind.
Okay, thanks, Carl. Mac, are you there?
He's on mute if he is, Chair.
Bear with me. Just bear with me, members. Just bear with me. Sorry, I was just sitting down. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, the request, I received a request from the Poverty Action Group, which I distributed out to the members for a chair to come from the group. And then I gave them the response. That was my error. I gave them the response that Councillor Jarvie had said that he was happy to do it, and I didn't consider that it would have to go to this committee. So that's what happened.
Oh, okay, thanks, Mac. So it's actually just to go to the group, and will the group then decide the chair themselves? Would that what would happen, or would it be part of the chair?
I'm happy to give my thoughts on that.
Yes.
As far as I know, and I think Councillor Jarvie's been in attendance at 1 or 2 of those meetings as well, I'm led to believe that what they were looking for, and they already sent it out in the email to everybody, that they were actively looking. They thought that it would be good for one of the councillors to actually chair their meeting, and that's why they subsequently sent the request. Councillors can attend that, the Caithness Poverty Action Group, and in any case. But this would help raise the profile of it, because they weren't having any councillors attending their meetings, and or they weren't having many at all. And this was really to kind of this will be help raise the profile of it. That's probably what it will do. It'll actually hopefully it will strengthen it. It really follows on from the resilience and the resilience programme.
Apologies, councillors. That's exactly what it was for. That was what it said in the email. It was to raise the profile and to assist by having a member.
Okay, that's fine. Carl, were you wanting to come in there?
Yeah, thanks, Rod. So, particularly having received the clarification, I'd like to nominate Councillor Bremner. I think everyone's aware of the type of work that's gone before, particularly in regard to fuel poverty. So, you know, understanding some of the projects that are in the pipeline and the other work that Raymond's done, that's the reason for my proposal. So, seek a seconder. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Have we got a seconder?
Yes, I'd like to second that proposal.
Second that, yeah. Thank you. Have we any other nominations? Jan?
Can I nominate Councillor Jarvie, please?
Yep, thank you. And do we have a seconder for Andrew? Yeah, I'll second that. Second Andrew for that.
How many positions do they actually want in this?
Just the one, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, there seems to have been some conspiracy that struck Councillor Mackey and I. We both got pushed off at the same time. I've had to join on my phone now, and Councillor Mackey can't rejoin just yet.
Right. Struan, are you with us? Sorry, it seems to be a bit of a mystery here. Andrew, you're here, are you?
Yes, on my phone.
Oh, right, okay. Struan, are you? Oh, right. Mac, you're still with us, are you? Yeah.
Yes, I'm still with you. Councillor Bremner has his hand up.
Yes, Raymond.
Just for clarification, if Councillor Jarvie dropped out there, is he actually aware that he's been nominated?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. And Struan's not come back in yet.
I did see him briefly flicker on the bottom, but disappeared again.
Okay.
I don't know, would somebody be able to try invite him in? Oh, it says he is in now.
Is he here now, is he? I'm sorry, I can't see whether... Struan, are you with us? It appear not. Raymond, did you want to say something there? Sorry.
Yes, given the fact that Councillor Mackey's been an active contributor to this meeting, and it doesn't look as though he's left by of his own volition, I think that it would be appropriate to have a short break until we can sort out the connection problems with Councillor Stuart Mackey, please.
Yeah, that sounds very, very sensible indeed. So will we take a 10-minute break to?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. We'll see you back. What's that? 15:15. See you back about 11.
Can I just make a point, Chair? I've gotten a message from Councillor Mackey saying he is trying to get back in. His broadband is down at the moment.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's entirely up to yourself.
Yeah. I don't know how long we can wait, you know. So it appears that it's if it pops up. Yeah, I was just going to say that it was pointed out that any councillor can actually go along to the poverty group. We are looking for one for the chair, so it's open to anybody to go to these meetings. So we have two people there, so I presume we will now move to a vote.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we have nominations for Councillor Bremner and nominations for Councillor Jarvie. If I read out your name, can you indicate who you want to vote for, or if you wish to abstain? Councillor Bremner.
I'll vote for Councillor Jarvie if he votes for me. I think I better vote for myself.
Councillor Gunn.
Councillor Jarvie.
Councillor Jarvie.
Yes, sorry.
Myself, of course.
Sorry, I didn't catch that, but I'm presuming it's yourself.
Yes, myself.
Councillor Mackay.
Councillor Bremner.
Councillor Mackey, if you're here. No. Councillor McEwen.
Councillor Jarvie.
Councillor Rees isn't here, and Councillor Rosie.
Councillor Bremner, please, Jane.
Okay, members, we have a tie. We have 3 votes for Councillor Bremner and 3 votes for Andrew Jarvie. So it's going to, if Councillor Bremner and Councillor Jarvie are quite happy, we'll cut the cards. I've got a pack of cards here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm sure Councillor Jarvie's of the same.
Yeah.
I think you can see me, can you? Yes?
Yes, you can see that there. Thank you.
Right. Councillor Bremner, are you quite happy that I cut for you?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
That is 9. I should say as well, ace is high. Councillor Jarvie, are you happy that I'm cutting the cards for you?
Yeah.
10.
Well done, Andrew.
Well, when I saw 9, I thought that's me out. But there we go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. I have to say I've never experienced that before, so it's good to see it happen.
Yeah, can I just say, Chair, that's the second time I've seen that in 15 years.
Oh,
First
really?
time was in, the first time was in May 2017 to decide on the chair of North Planning Applications Committee.
Okay, thank you.
Really, it's very interesting. I seem to have a history in this council of being made chair by cutting of cards, because I was made chair of the licensing committee by cutting of cards in the last term as well. So nothing's easy.
No.
But you did say that anybody can go along to these poverty groups, so I would actually maybe just like to go along, but not chair, but just to see what's going on. So
yeah, I think any councillor can actually go along, so that's fine. So Councillor Jarvie is our nominated member. Okay, we'll move on now to the Your Police You Decide steering group, Caithness, and we're looking for 1 member for that. Raymond?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Councillor Willie Mackay, as he indicated to the rest of us in recent communication. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll second that. So, sorry, Willie, you want to speak?
Yes, I'm already signed up to the steering group, actually. We all got an email several weeks ago, I think Mark will confirm this, to ask all of us who would be willing to put their name forward. And my name was put forward, and because nobody else did. And I've already signed up to the Corporate Services Division there just yesterday. So we're in there already, so please yourselves, but that's the situation as far as I see it. Thank you.
Okay, well, are we happy to have Willie on it as our councillor? If you're already there, Willie, yeah. So we have a. Is there any other nominations for anybody else? No. So I'm quite happy. Yeah, I'm quite happy to put Willie forward for that. I see Struan.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've managed to get back in there.
Yeah, apologies, members. Broadband went down. My phone signal's not good enough to tether. So where are we on the agenda, Chair?
We've just done. We've done a cut of the cards, and Councillor Jarvie got the higher number, so he's the member for the.
Was that for item 5?
For Caithness Poverty Action Group, but as it was pointed out, any councillor can attend that meeting. Yeah.
Thanks, Chair.
Now, I don't know if it's appropriate, but I'm aware also that the NHS Redesign Steering Group has places for. It's not actually on our agenda here. I don't know. Is it appropriate to look for members for that as well? If it's not actually on the agenda.
Chairman, can I
Yes,
come in here?
Certainly.
You can't take items that aren't on the agenda if they're urgent. If there's no urgency for this particular appointment, I would suggest you leave it until your next meeting.
Okay, thank you for that. We'll do that. There's no mad urgency for that. They don't meet that often anyway. So we'll deal with that at our next meeting if you're happy with that. And Struan?
Chair, I'm conscious that the appointments that we've had today are a mixture of what is known and what has been communicated to Highland Council officers, on the basis that we always find, I think, every year or every term that there's stuff that's been missed and organisations look to the members to attend. Can I just, maybe it's not for a vote or any sort of assumption here, but just that if there are members that are on other boards, that they continue to do so until such time as we've got the valid nominations, because I think it's far better for there to be member representation than for the members to assume that nobody should be going along until there's actually nominations coming through Caithness committee or ward business. And I think one of the things that I think would be quite useful is just to know exactly where that line is around about. I understand we're speaking very specifically about appointments here, but in the past there has been things that have been approved at ward business meetings. So I think as long as we take a common sense approach to it, I think that's the way forward.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Raymond?
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It's actually, there's convention for it. I very much support what Struan said there just now. At ward business meetings, if there are things that are not on the agenda, and it often is the case that at ward business meetings we discuss things that, and if there requires a homologation, it can be added to the agenda at the next Caithness Area Committee meeting, because the Caithness Area Committee only meets once a quarter, and there are things that the fluidity of council. There are things that we discuss at the ward business meeting, but if it's anything of importance in terms of appointments and things like that, it can be homologated, added to the agenda, and homologated at the Caithness Area Committee.
Thanks, Raymond. Yeah, that's fine. That's all that's on our agenda at the moment. Just for clarification, I think it's this meeting. We would like to continue with what was introduced, meeting up with the roads department and NHS. That Raymond, yes, do you want to come in on that?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind, I was actually going to address the committee with your permission.
Yes, on you go.
Yeah, now that I take it we can conclude the meeting. The meeting's concluded. We are at the end of the agenda.
You're correct. We're at the end of the agenda. Yeah.
Chairman, can I therefore stop the recording and withdraw?
Okay. Yes. Thank you for your assistance. It's been very helpful. Yes. Thank you.